My fiancé's bachelor party was supposed to be just a few drinks with the guys. But the morning after, I found a hotel receipt in his jacket. Confused, I called the hotel, pretending to be his assistant. "Oh, the honeymoon suite?" "Yes, Mr. Thompson and his guest checked out early this morning." My blood ran cold. That night, at our rehearsal dinner, I stood up to give a speech. And instead of toasting to our future, I exposed his biggest mistake. We were supposed to get married in 5 days. Everything was planned. Venue booked. Flowers paid for. Dress tailored. My best friends flying in from different states. My parents spending way more money than they were comfortable with, just to make sure it was perfect. I thought I was about to marry the love of my life. I thought Daniel was my person. He told me his bachelor party would be low-key. He's not a wild party kind of guy, never was. Said it would just be him, his best man Pete, and a few of the guys. A couple drinks, maybe some darts, back by midnight. I believed him because I never had a reason not to. The night he went out, I stayed at home watching Netflix and working on my vows. I was thinking about the first time we met, how he offered me his umbrella in the pouring rain outside the Trader Joe's on Broadway. He'd smiled at me like he already knew me. For years later, we were engaged. The next morning, I was picking up his suit jacket from the back of the couch when a folded paper slipped out of the inside pocket. It was a receipt. From the Grand Lux Hotel in downtown Chicago. The date on the receipt was last night. At first, I thought maybe he'd booked a room for one of his friends. Maybe someone got too drunk. I wanted to believe that. But the room listed was the honeymoon suite. And the total was over $700. My stomach dropped. I just stood there for a minute, holding the paper, trying to make sense of it. I didn't want to jump to conclusions, so I told myself I needed more information. I called the hotel. I told the woman at the front desk that I was Mr. Daniel Carter's assistant, checking in on a booking detail. She said, "Yes, Mr. Carter checked in yesterday and checked out earlier this morning. He was in the honeymoon suite." Then she paused. "Would you like me to send the final itemized bill to the same email as before?" I told her no and hung up. I could barely breathe. I sat on the couch for at least an hour, just holding the receipt, staring at nothing. My mind went through every possibility, every excuse. Maybe it was a mistake. Maybe they upgraded him. Maybe someone else used his name. But deep down, I knew. When he came home later that afternoon, I asked him how the night was. He smiled and said, "It was chill. Just some beers and bar food. Nothing crazy." I nodded. Then I pulled the receipt from my back pocket and set it on the kitchen counter between us. "What's this?" I asked. He looked at it. His whole face changed. The color drained. His shoulders tensed. He didn't answer. I kept my voice calm. "You said you just went for drinks. Why does this say you stayed at the Grand Lux? In the honeymoon suite?" He opened his mouth, but nothing came out at first. Then he said, "It was Pete's idea. He said we should end the night in style. It was just the guys. We were drunk. We didn't want to Uber back." His eyes were bouncing around like they were looking for a way to escape the room. I asked him, why would a group of drunk guys need the honeymoon suite? Why not a regular room? He said, "It was a joke. Pete dared me. I didn't even sleep there. I went home after." That was a lie. The hotel said he checked out that morning. I didn't say anything else. I just walked into the bedroom and shut the door. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I just sat on the edge of the bed, feeling like the ground underneath me was gone. For the next 2 days, I pretended everything was normal. I smiled. I confirmed the flower delivery. I told my mom I couldn't wait to see her. But I knew what I had to do. The rehearsal dinner was coming up. I wasn't going to cancel it. Not yet. I needed everyone in the same room. I needed them to hear the truth. The day of the rehearsal dinner came faster than I expected. I hadn't spoken much to Daniel. Just small talk. He kept acting normal, like nothing happened. I think he thought I believed him. Maybe he hoped I'd just let it go. The dinner was at a nice restaurant on the Riverwalk, white tablecloths, candles, the works. Our families were there. His mom brought a bottle of wine she'd been saving since he was a teenager. My dad stood up and gave a little speech about love and commitment. I nodded and smiled like I was in a trance. But inside? I was burning. Then came my moment. The maid of honor, my best friend Sam, looked at me. "You ready?" she whispered. I stood up. Glass in hand. Clinked a fork against the side. "I just want to say a few words," I said. Daniel smiled at me across the table, like this was all part of the plan. "It's been a long journey getting here," I started. "And I want to thank everyone for coming, for supporting us." I looked straight at him. "I want to thank Daniel," I said, "for showing me exactly who he is, 5 days before I almost married him." The room went quiet. I pulled the hotel receipt from my clutch and laid it on the table. "This is a receipt from the Grand Lux Hotel. The honeymoon suite. From the night of his bachelor party." People started whispering. His mom looked confused. My mom looked like she wanted to crawl under the table. "I called the hotel," I continued. "They said Daniel and his guest checked out the next morning." Someone gasped. Daniel looked like he'd been shot. He stood up quickly. "Babe, can we talk? Don't babe me," I snapped. "You lied. Not just to me, but to every single person here who thought we were building something real." I saw Pete, his best man, shifting in his seat. He looked nervous. Guilty. So I turned to him. "You were with him, right? That night?" Pete didn't answer. "Tell them who he was with, Pete." And just like that, the silence exploded. Pete's fiancé, well, ex-fiancé now, stood up and screamed, "You told me you didn't go to the hotel." Pete's face turned red, then white. "I didn't sleep with anyone. I was just covering for him. I didn't think she'd actually find out." Now I was confused. I looked at Pete. "So Daniel wasn't alone?" Pete looked at me. Looked at Daniel. Then said it. "It wasn't just a one-night thing. He's been seeing someone. 4 months." My whole body froze. "Who?" And that's when the twist hit like a punch in the gut. From across the room, Daniel's cousin Rachel, who I had always found a little too friendly, stood up, knocked her chair over, and stormed out of the restaurant. It took me a second. But the way Daniel ran after her? That told me everything. So yeah, Daniel ran after Rachel. His cousin. That's what I thought. That's what everyone thought. His mom had always called her our Rachel, but now I was wondering if that R meant something different to him. Everyone at the rehearsal dinner just sat there in stunned silence. My dad stood up, looking like he was about to go after Daniel and deck him. My mom was already crying. Sam came up beside me and whispered, "What the actual hell?" Pete had his head in his hands. "I thought it was a fling. I thought it was someone random. I didn't know it was her." I looked at him. "How long has it been going on?" He just shook his head. "Since the engagement party. That night we all went to the rooftop bar, you remember?" Yeah. I remembered. I had gone home early because of a migraine. Daniel stayed behind to hang out with his cousins. So much started making sense. Rachel always found a way to be near him. Offering to help him with seating charts, insisting on riding with him to wedding tastings, even jokingly calling herself the best man's backup. Backup, my ass. Daniel came back in about 10 minutes later. Alone. Face pale. Eyes glassy. "She left," he mumbled. She didn't want anyone to know. This wasn't supposed to happen like this. I laughed. I actually laughed. You're right. This wasn't supposed to happen. I was supposed to marry you. I was supposed to believe you loved me. Then I turned to his mom, who still hadn't said a word. Did you know? She blinked. Excuse me? You always said Rachel was like a daughter to you. Did you know she was sleeping with your son? She stood up. Of course not. I would never approve of that. That's incest? I offered. She's not actually his cousin, she blurted. They're not blood related. She's my goddaughter. Her parents were close friends of ours. It's complicated. Oh, so now that's coming out. I stared at Daniel. So you weren't cheating on me with your cousin. You were cheating on me with your fake cousin. That's supposed to make it better? He didn't answer. And then, just when I thought nothing else could drop, Sam tugged my sleeve. Come outside, she whispered. Now. I followed her out to the sidewalk. She pulled out her phone. I didn't want to show you this, she said. I wasn't sure if it meant anything. But now. I think you need to see it. She opened her photo gallery. A series of screenshots. Instagram DMs. From someone named Kendra. Messages to Daniel. Kendra, can't wait for next week. Hope she doesn't find out. Daniel, she won't. Rachel is just a distraction. Kendra, damn, you're good. I stared at the screen, my chest tight. Another girl. Another one. Not Rachel. Not some one-night stand. A third woman. With a name and a plan and apparently no idea she wasn't the only one. Sam whispered, Kendra messaged me last week. I think she figured out who you were and got scared. I didn't want to ruin your wedding if it was fake, I nodded slowly. But it's not fake. No, and I realized. Rachel wasn't even the girl. She was just one of the girls. I didn't go back inside right away. I just stood there on the sidewalk, staring at Sam's phone, scrolling through the messages between Daniel and this woman named Kendra. Every new line made my skin crawl. This wasn't just cheating. This was layers of lies. This was a man I thought I knew, and now I couldn't even recognize him. Inside, people were still trying to recover from the Rachel bombshell. I walked back into the restaurant with a calm I didn't feel. Daniel looked up from where he was slouched in his chair, eyes darting around like a trapped animal. His tie was loose, and his shirt was wrinkled. Like his whole lie was unraveling in front of everyone. I walked right up to him. Kendra? I said quietly, but clear enough for the whole room to hear. His head snapped up. You want to tell me who she is, I said. Or should I start reading the messages out loud? I watched it happen, the way the blood drained from his face. The way his mouth opened, then shut. And then his voice broke. Okay. Okay. I was going to end it. I laughed, too bitter for tears. Which one, Daniel? Rachel? Kendra? Or me? His mom stood up. What is going on? Sam answered for me. Your son's been cheating. With Rachel. And another woman. And who knows how many others. We've only named 2. People were getting up from their chairs now. Whispering, staring, judging. Then Rachel came back. Her hair was messy, eyes red. She walked in like she was walking into a funeral, and I guess in a way, she was. I didn't mean for it to happen, she said, voice shaky. Really? I asked. You didn't mean to sleep with your godbrother, who's engaged to someone else? I thought he loved me, she said, looking straight at Daniel. He told me he was only with you because he didn't know how to call off the wedding. And there it was. The twist that broke me. Daniel stood up fast. Rachel, stop. No, she said. You told me we had a future. You said we just had to get through this weekend and then, I threw the receipt at him. It fluttered to the floor. You brought her to the honeymoon suite, I said. You brought her to the room we were supposed to be in next week. He tried to speak. Tried to move toward me. My dad stepped in between us. No, Daniel froze. Rachel turned and ran again, for real this time. Daniel slumped into the chair. I never meant to hurt you, he said. I swear. But you did, I said. And you lied about it every step of the way. And you kept lying until you couldn't anymore. His best man Pete tried to step in. Look, he messed up, but maybe you two should talk privately. No, I said. This was private. And he chose to make it dirty. So now it's public. Daniel's mom put her hands over her mouth. My aunt whispered, I always thought there was something off about him. My cousin muttered, this is better than cable. I turned to the room, voice calm but loud. There's no wedding. I don't need a man who can't keep his promises. I deserve better than secrets, excuses, and hotel receipts. I grabbed my coat. Daniel stood up again. Please. I can fix this. Don't walk away. I looked at him one last time. You broke something I can't put back together. And I left. I stayed at Sam's that night. I didn't cry much. Not yet. I felt hollow. Like someone had reached into my chest and taken the future I thought I had. My phone blew up for days. Daniel called, texted, emailed. He tried to explain. Said he was confused. Said he was scared. Said it was pressure, cold feet, whatever. Rachel messaged me once. Said she was sorry. Said she didn't think it would go that far. I didn't answer either of them. Pete reached out, apologized. Said he should have told me. He'd always known Daniel wasn't built for forever. My mom came over with pie. Didn't say much. Just sat next to me. My dad didn't say, I told you so. But I think he wanted to. It's been 3 months now. The wedding venue kept half the deposit. The dress is still in the closet. I haven't decided what to do with it. Some days I'm angry. Some days I'm just tired. But most days? I'm okay. I don't miss Daniel. I miss the idea of him, the version I thought was real. What I've learned is, love shouldn't make you doubt yourself. It shouldn't make you paranoid, or small, or quiet. It should feel safe. I thought loyalty meant sticking it out. But real loyalty starts with yourself. I dodged a lifetime of lies in exchange for a few painful weeks. I'll take that trade. And the next time someone asks how I feel about low-key bachelor parties, I'll say this, always check the pockets.